All right, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started here. I do want to thank you for joining us for this webinar. Just trying to talk about getting you guys connected with Blueprint. I know many of you have already been using Publisher. So as you may or may not know, obviously we are starting to move on from Publisher and trying to get everyone connected over onto Blueprint. And so this conversation, this webinar right here, is just to kind of get us going with that process and discuss what you're going to see once you start getting connected over onto Blueprint. All right. So you should also be seeing my screen right now. Basically, what you should be seeing is Blueprint, just kind of the layout of what it is. If you haven't seen it before, just the main dashboard of what you're going to see. The One of the main things we want to discuss here, or one of the main reasons why we are ourselves, ImageQuix and Technicare, trying to get you guys connected over onto Blueprint, is the main the main reason is for the Stripe integration that we are going to be building in. This integration. So currently, through us, you actually use Technicare as your merchant. They handle all your payment. With this new Stripe integration, you will actually have control of your payment portal. What does that mean exactly? What that does mean is you will have access to daily payouts. You can choose your payouts if you want to get paid, on a daily, maybe twice a week, or maybe you want to keep up with the weekly or bi-weekly payments. You can go ahead and do that. That's all up to you. You'll have the ability to set when you're going to get paid. You can set it up so your customer names are showing up on the invoice and the bank statements. So obviously, part of the issues we've had previously with payments is for you guys, your Technicare customers, your customers are seeing Technicare on the payment portal. For us here in the States, they're seeing our ImageQuix information, the photo checkout information on the portal, and a lot of times that causes confusion. Whereas now with this Stripe integration, you can go ahead and put in that put in your studio information in there. Before I continue, I do want to make note. We do have a question and answer section available within the webinar within the webinar here. So if you do have any questions at any time, we will answer questions at the end here. We have time allotted to answer questions. So definitely feel free to go in and type out your questions, and then we'll circle back and answer those for you. All right, so continuing on, so the kind of the third main feature here with that Stripe integration is the refund management. Again, this is not something you've had control of previously because you weren't in control of your merchant. Now with Stripe as your merchant, going through your payment portal, you actually have the ability to manage your refunds. So you can go in and handle all the refunds, so you don't have to follow up with the lab to go ahead and take care of those. All right. So those are the big features, the big thing with the Stripe integration, and that's a key cog as to why we wanted to really start this conversation, because you're not going to be able to do this through Publisher. So you have to have access to Blueprint in order to get Stripe running. Otherwise, basically we'd have to find another solution, which we're not planning on it, in order for you to go ahead and use the Stripe. So that's where we want to make sure we have everybody set up with Blueprint. The next thing I wanted, a few other items here just to kind of discuss as to why you'd want to switch over to Blueprint. Lab integration, there's a lot more features involved with the lab integration now, as opposed to what you had in Publisher, where you can create your own designs, you can create memory mates, you can create collages, and actually have those pointed to the lab for them to process on their own. So you can actually create those designs and go ahead and get those printed out from the lab. So like I said, this includes, creating like memory mates, creating like collages. You want to offer something like, you want to create like a border on certain prints. You can go ahead and do that, and the lab will receive those as flattened files that they can then print out. All right, users. Within Blueprint now, there's an ability for you to create different users and assign different roles to those users. Obviously, once again, this is not something that was available within Publisher, but within Blueprint, you can go in. So let's say you have, an office manager that you want to give access to everything. You can go ahead and create a role in the system, assign them, the ability to view, edit, delete orders, or delete jobs, update orders, delete orders if they're cash orders. You can give them the ability to do all that. But let's say also you have, let's say, like a finance manager where you don't want them to have the ability to delete anything. Maybe you do want them to have access to view everything, but not delete it. You can actually remove the access for them to be able to delete items from your catalog there. Same thing, for photographers, you can give them access to only specific jobs. So let's say if you have a temporary photographer coming in that's working with you specifically for one job, they can come in, do the shoot, do what they need to, and when they log in, all they're going to see is that one specific gallery that you gave them access to. So there's a number of things you could do with that. All right, and the last piece I do want to bring up here before we get more into Blueprint itself is the ability, or is the fact, everything that you've done so far, everything you've done in Publisher, all your jobs, all your price sheets, all your products you've created, obviously all your orders are all still available. As soon as you download Blueprint and you log into your account, everything is there. So all your jobs, all your price sheets, as I mentioned, everything that you've done previously is still there. So there's nothing new you need to really do. You can just continue on, or obviously you can from there start creating new price sheets with new products that you wanted, using our advanced design features to offer to your customers. So there's in terms of downside, in terms of you going from Publisher to Blueprint, there really isn't much, because everything has carried over, so you're not losing anything out of the system. All right, so at this point, what I do want to do is just kind of walk you through some different things here within the Blueprint environment, and just kind of show you how you could get to certain items in here, or certain features. So as I've logged in, you're going to see here, this is the main layout within Blueprint. So when you first log in, you're going to see, okay, it's going to show you, all right, how many active jobs, your price sheets, how many orders, and then your order revenue, and then your average order numbers, which you can actually adjust as to a yearly or even like a 30-day ratio there. All right, so you'll see, obviously within the past 30 days, I haven't had anything there, but this is what I have for the past year. All right, you'll also see your list of your dashboard will also show you, where you can get to your jobs, your price sheets, designs, anything that you need to do in order to process or create create galleries. You're also going to see your member status, if you're having a CAP manager, this will be listed here, and then what labs you are using. So that's all going to be listed over there. All right, so in the at this point, quickly just going over what I wanted to discuss with the users. Just if we go into the preferences, you are going to see a little, some different things here. The payout options, just so you know, this is where you're going to find that new Stripe integration. So we haven't built it in quite yet, but eventually, once that's built in, which should be coming here within the next few weeks, you're going to see that option show up here, where then you'll be set that up on your end, and then this is where you're going to be able to go through and manage it. So that's all through your preferences there. All right, but if we go into the users, this is where you can go in and create your different users. All right, and then you can also, as I mentioned, then go in here and create different roles. So we have a marketing role, job creation, and then these are just roles set up specifically for job creation. So this one, doesn't have any access to creating price sheets or my designs. Whereas let's say you want to create one just for designs, you can kind of do the opposite, where they don't have any access to creating jobs, but they can go in and create the price sheets or do other items with your settings there. All right. So once again, these are all logging in. These are all your jobs. So anything again that you've done in Publisher, you're going to see listed here. Everything is going to be carried over, and everything will show up here as you've seen previously. All right, within your price sheets, again, all your price sheets are going to be here. So, if you open up a price sheet, you'll see everything that you've created in there. So the same way as we're looking through this, you have your categories, you have your packages. If you have your specialty items, you have those built in, and you can go ahead and from here you can still create offers. Honestly, I feel like this layout is a lot cleaner in terms of creating offers. I think it makes it a lot easier as you guys are putting it together to see what you're setting up. For the packages, again, what you're doing here is you have your list of packages, and then if we click the drop down, you're going to see all your packages here. So this, as these are connected with Technicare, you will actually see the Technicare lab listed here, so these products are specifically going to Technicare. All right, and here's your a la carte items. And then if you're doing anything with backgrounds, you can go in and add those items, the background sets in there into the system, so your customers are able to choose the backgrounds. So once again, this is all the same things that you would have done through Publisher. It's just it's just a different look through Blueprint that you're setting these items up. All right, so those are your price sheets now. The one thing you will see here with Blueprint is this sync option. So anytime you make any sort of changes, you will want to make sure you click this sync button. Obviously in Publisher, a lot of times we were talking about either like save or publish. Sync does all that. So sync is save and publish, but actually when you get to the job screen, there is actually an active or inactive option. So you can actually sync a job and then choose to make that either still inactive, so the job is synced. So, and taking a step back here, what I'm talking about when I say sync, just so you know, so with Blueprint, like you could with Publisher, you can have it set up on multiple systems, but you're not going to see it on another system until you sync it, and that's where the sync comes into play. So you make sure once you do that, once it's synced up, then it's synced up to the cloud, and then users on a different system will be able to see your updates. So that's why you'd want to sync, but maybe not necessarily make it active yet, because you don't want your customers to actually log in. That's where we can set that designation of inactive. So it's synced. It's all synced up together with other computers, but it's still inactive for your customers. All right, so those are that's the job layout. Your price sheets, like I said, everything is carried over here from publisher side, and then your designs. Now designs, think of the designs is basically all it is my products. All right, so anything that's, once again, you've done under my products in Publisher, that's what my designs is. All right, so all you're doing is, again, this is where you're creating your specific designs. But once again, the main difference between the my designs in Blueprint versus the my designs, or excuse me, the my products in Publisher, is now you can actually create designs specifically to then be fulfilled by the lab. So for instance, if we have, let's say we, create a 8x10 collage. All right, so we have this collage that I've created here. If I go under designs, you're going to see the collage. This is what I've created. So, all right, so I've added a foreground image to that design. I've added my image nodes. All right, so this is where when the customers go online, they're going to obviously assign those images there. We have a text field here that's pulling in the first name data from the subject data. So it's automatically going to pull in that subject data. All right, and so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to bring it back. All right, and here's once again the design. So what I would want to do is go into my price sheet. All right, and we'll add that. Here we go. We have our collage is already in the price sheet. But now let's say I wanted to direct that to the lab. I can actually then choose my fulfillment. All right, so right now I'm only connected to our test service, but so if this was connected to Technicare, I can say, okay, I want this pushed to Technicare, and then I can choose my product, and then go ahead and decide, what layout I want that to fall on. There we go, prints, basic prints, and let's say this is just an 8x10. All right, so now this is telling me, okay, here's my design that's directed to the ImageQuix test service. So again, if this was directly tied with Technicare, you can go in, create your collage, and direct that to Technicare, to their product line, and that'll then go ahead and print out on their side. All right. All right, so from there, so those are your designs. Again, this is also where you can create your options and backgrounds. Like I said, same thing, as you usually do in Publisher. So it's, like I said, the look and the feel is the same process. It's the same thing you're doing. It's just obviously the way you're going about doing things may be a little bit different, but it's all in the end. It's a lot cleaner and a lot more intuitive process. All right, so then we have our shopping cart section. Again, this is everything that you've done previously. If you have discount codes that you've created previously in Publisher, those are showing up here. If you have custom forms that you've done previously in Publisher, those are showing up here. And then once again, this is where you can also decide to create those. And again, a little bit easier because now you can just go in and just, we have some pre-made fields here that you can actually just go ahead and add to the system. So first name, last name, you want to add the teacher name, you can add that in there, and then you can always go in here and update these as you need to. All right. And our cart template, so this is the shopping cart, the Vando settings. So when you look in here and you see manage cart templates, all this is your Vando settings. And again, everything that you've done previously in here will then show up. But there's actually a couple of neat new features within Blueprint that Publisher does not have. And that's this, the thank you message, the gallery expired message, and the unavailable message. These are actual messages that you can build into the system. So excuse me, the thank you message has always been there, excuse me. But the gallery expired message and the gallery unavailable message these are new. But yeah, so you can go ahead and you can create and a message that comes up. So you've got in, you've had a gallery up for a month, but now it's time to bring it down. You can actually put a message up there saying, this gallery is expired. Please contact us to go ahead and renew. And you can put in some other information in there if you want to, but just so they're not seeing that generic this gallery is unavailable message. So now they have a little bit more information, something to follow up on, and maybe you tell them right there that there's we are unable to reactivate this gallery, or you can tell them there is a fee to reactivate this gallery, and that all of that will be listed right there for them. All right. Again, you have your cropping, your black and white, and sepia. You also have the option to turn on or off order notes, which again, this is new, where you can at the end when customers are checking out, you can decide whether you want them or you want to give them the ability to enter order notes in there. This is something they always had the availability to do this when creating it in Publisher, but we now give you the option of if you don't want to deal with those, because sometimes it's hard to go back and look at those order notes, you can just turn it off so customers no longer have the ability to enter those notes in there. All right, here's your watermark settings. So same as usual, shipping and handling, all that information's in there, and then your tax information. All right, and then finally, once we're done all that, once we're done with all that, now you're going to see your orders tab. So you can actually track orders in two separate sections. You have your main orders tab. So this is once you click on that orders tab, every order that's come through is going to show up in this section. But if you actually go into a specific job, and then you'll see that there's an orders tab in there, you'll actually see the job orders. So those orders specifically for that gallery will then be listed there. So you have two ways to go about looking up those orders. All right, fulfillment. If you're doing anything with image services, so if you want to do like retouching, you can actually set the jobs up, set the price sheets up to include the retouching. And if you want to do it, so we're not talking about the lab taking care of that, but if you want to do it yourself, you can set up image services that will then, what'll happen is those orders will wind up under fulfillment. You'll need to go in, download the images, go ahead and replace, do the retouching, and then replace the image into a folder, and the system will automatically read that replace folder and then assign the correct images to that order, the updated images, and then release those orders to the lab for processing. All right, and the last thing you'll see here is marketing. Now this is not something you'll generally see on your end. This is actually just for for our purposes when we set up like marketing. So if you are a premium member and you do have that marketing feature, this is how we go about setting those up for you. All right, and so that's kind of everything. Just to like I said, just to kind of introduce all of you to Blueprint. Show you the great tools, the great features you have in Blueprint, and and yes, we kind of are requiring you in terms of getting that Stripe integration to move onto Blueprint, but there's so many more reasons why you'd want to start making that transfer from Publisher to Blueprint that it just makes sense to start moving over at this point. All right. And that's honestly that's pretty much everything we had to cover here. Just looking through, I don't see any questions. I'll give you guys a few minutes here if if you have anything you can think of. We'd be happy to answer some questions. I actually have Peter Koop here on the line with us as well. He's happy to answer any questions that you guys may have. If not, like obviously how to reach out to all of us, and we'd be happy to help you out, obviously going forward. All right. Yeah. So that marketing tab, that's that's something that we work on our end and that helps us with creating those marketing campaigns. And so again, this is something that you'll see if you are a premium member. All right. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So up until now, I've been creating in Flow. Blueprint is replacing this. And creating now in Blueprint. Technically, you could still. And that's the other thing I actually didn't cover here. But you could, if you're using Flow, there's no reason why you still couldn't use Flow with Blueprint. In fact, it's actually a little bit easier to use Flow now with Blueprint than it was with ImageQuix. It's still the same process. Obviously, not knowing your specific workflow, but if you were if you were going from Flow, pushing the ImageQuix icon and then pushing up to at that point Publisher, you're going to be doing the same thing here, where you're pushing from Flow. You're creating everything in Flow. You're pushing it up through Plick into Blueprint, and everything is carrying over into Blueprint. The one great difference about all of that now is when you do that, and let's say you have to make an update, it's not going to erase everything you've done previously. It is at this point, if you make a change and then republish from Flow to Blueprint, it's going to go ahead and just make those updates within Blueprint. So yeah, so you can continue using that process, and as I said, that it will work out better in the long run.
Hey, Peter, you want to add some more color to that?
For sure. I'm going to actually be playing with that this week and testing stuff out. The beauty of it as well, and you guys correct me if this isn't 100% accurate, but you also have the ability to utilize Blueprint for the detached workflow that I think you've all heard me talk about before. That detached workflow means you can have the simplistic upload into Blueprint from Flow, but from there on in, you can operate all orders directly through Blueprint. They do not have to be drawn back into Flow before submitting. That's always been a bit of a pain point with the Flow to ImageQuix, or sort of Flow to Publisher workflow, because they have to come back in before we submit them to Technicare. So I can give you more specific information on that as I do go through the testing and work through that with these guys, but that's up and running from what 100% from what I understand. Is that correct, Jordan?
Yes, that's correct. And one of the really good ways to use this is you can push from Flow to Blueprint. Let's say you take your first 1 month of pickup orders. From there, you can just export. We have is it multi-row or single row that goes straight back into Flow? Anthony?
It's the multi-row.
Okay, so you grab the multi-row export, which is on the orders tab. You import that directly back into Flow. Flow takes that export perfectly. So it's going to import all of your pickup orders into Flow. You can submit your pickup orders to Technicare using Flow, and then back in the Blueprint job, you can switch that price sheet over to an automatic fulfillment with Technicare, and then now you can take all of your what would you call them, drop ship orders direct. Right. They can go directly to Technicare and have them auto fulfillment through Blueprint. Don't even have to worry bringing them back. So you can do. It's a very flexible way of doing things. You can actually use Blueprint to bulk those orders to the lab too. So honestly, you can give Peter a call, shoot us an email. We'll be happy to walk through and figure out exactly what best workflow would work for you. But this new workflow gives you a lot more options to get your orders to the lab.
Definitely. All right. Looks like we don't have any other questions. So yeah, I think obviously at this point, we've kind of gone over, the reasons for moving over from Publisher to Blueprint. Discussed the workflow. There's a lot to go there. If you wanted to discuss more with the Flow workflow in Blueprint, as Jordan had mentioned, contact Peter. You can definitely speak with myself. I'd be happy to discuss this further with you guys. But I think we really have hopefully giving you good enough reason to start that process of transferring over into Blueprint.
And we've also recorded this webinar, so we can send that to Kathy after we've got it uploaded, and she can give that to you guys so you can come back and check it anytime you'd like. The one thing that, Anthony, you might have said this and I just missed it. Did we talk about the fulfillment part of the orders tab?
Yes. Yeah, we did. But yeah, talking about image services and how to.
Or did you talk about switching from financial to fulfillment view in the orders tab?
I'm sorry. Yes, you are correct. I didn't discuss that. Let me jump back there. And yeah, so if we're looking at the orders tab, there is if you click this icon over here, you'll see there's some options here where you can view your financial orders. And so if I click on that now, it's actually condensed those. So previously I had it broken down to where it was showing, okay, maybe I had some Technicare orders and then I had maybe like a digital download. So it was splitting those up. But as when I click on this option to show the financial view, now it's only showing just the financials, and you'll see all your financial information there for the orders. All right, and then if I go ahead and click on that again and then go into fulfillment, now this is actually breaking down each order and where it's supposed to be being fulfilled. So for instance, I have ImageQuix test services, so these are going to the lab, and then this is going to the digital download. All right,
Perfect. And the looks like we're getting a bunch of questions about cost. No extra cost to you guys. You're just replacing Blueprint or Publisher with Blueprint. There's no all the costs are the same than what you currently pay. There's nothing, no increase or anything like that. The next thing I want to do also is I'm just going to walk through where things are in Publisher and just give you the equivalent to that in Blueprint. So just a quick, just walk through Publisher, My Products. If you're looking for My Products, that is called My Designs in Blueprint. So when you click on My Designs, you're going to see the same features plus more in from Publisher. Templates are what we did is we broke out template. The first type of template is price sheet. So we've pulled price sheets out of templates and they're their own tab. The rest of the templates are encompassed in the shopping cart tab there. So there's your other templates. Jobs are still jobs. And then orders and fulfillment are actually still are under the orders tab. And then you switch from financial to fulfillment view, which will give you the difference between the orders and fulfillment tab in Publisher. So those are the things. If you're looking for something in Publisher, you go to those things and you'll find it in Blueprint.
Yep.
I think that's everything.
Yep.
Peter, you have anything else you want to add before we?
No, not this time. I think you guys did good coverage. I know there'll be questions, and as we're going through it, as you guys as other questions pop up, feel free to give myself or Jordan or Anthony a call or an email, and one of us will for sure take care of you and get the answers out to you.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
also, you just go to imagequix.com, click on our help desk. You'll see the download Blueprint link. You download it. You log in exactly how you log into Publisher. You'll see all of your account. You can start playing with it right there. You see all of your account. The only thing I want to point out, I would not, don't touch a price sheet that you are currently using in Publisher in Blueprint. You will not be able to open it in Publisher anymore after you've touched it in Blueprint. So before you start playing with things that are live on jobs or something you're planning to use right now, don't start playing with those in Blueprint until you're ready to make the switch and permanently be on Blueprint.
Right.
Good warning.
Yeah. And that's everything I've got. So if you guys have questions, you can shoot them to Technicare or shoot them over to ImageQuix. Hit us up at support@imagequix.com is the best way to get in touch with us. And then our readiest available support representative can pick those up for you. And then we will circulate this out and we'll be back in touch in about a week with the next steps of moving over to Stripe.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Everyone have a wonderful day.